November. Oh, this Hangout on air is now live. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Well, folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is our November Patreon Hangout. I'm your moderator and co-facilitator. I am also your airplane attendant for the day, Justin Masson from Nintendo Dads. So we're excited to be here, or when I say we, I'm excited to be here with you guys. I need to send this out to my community so they know that we're on the air. So yeah, this is exciting stuff. We are keeping it live, folks. Command C. Yeah. I don't know what else is. I want to tell you. Just got back from doing some baths, some bathing of the kids. Had to get them ready for jammy time, which is cool. Which is cool indeed. So yeah, what else is going on? I have to like multitask right now, which is not going very well. How do I want to get this over to someone? I have got a link that I need to figure out how to get over to my people in line. Line has to have a sign up, right? We're on Line. We use Line for our folks over in the Patreon group. So we got one viewer. Welcome, viewer. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Let's see what's going on here. Cameraman, I got lots of dashboards. I am currently the only person in here. I'm gonna throw a chat box in there eventually for when people want to join. That's cool. But I need to get this over. How do I want to get this over? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use Messenger. I'm gonna Messenger myself, and then I'm gonna pop it over to that other thing, Line, and then send it out to people. And oh, you know what? I don't need to use Line. I can just use Patreon. What was I thinking? I'm crazy. I'm a fool, they say. You're a madman. So yeah, that stuff. What else is going on? This week's been crazy busy with Pokemon. Pokemon has been like the thing that everyone has been talking about. Sun and Moon is out. People are liking it, which should not be a shock. Apparently in like Japan, it sold major, which again should not be a shock. It was like 1.9 million copies in like 3 days, which is crazy for that, but that's fantastic. What else is going on? Got our copy of what is it? That game, Super Mario Maker. I can't think today. Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 3DS to review, which is great, which is very cool. We're excited to finally get our hands on that, so that's wonderful. Oh, I see the line chat. People are kind of like hitting me up. All right, yeah. Okay, a lot of okay. So I got a lot of the other team, all the other Nintendo dads just bailed on me. That's nice. It's nice. Zach just sent me a picture of Bill Murray saying you got this. So yeah, that's touching, guys. That's real touching. Yeah, so it's been an interesting week. I'm trying to think what else. Getting ready. Hey, and actually speaking of cool things that are going on, we've got you're muted, I think, right now, John. Still muted, I think. Oh, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? You all right, everybody? Looks like John has joined us. I heard him for a second. Now I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had to mess with my settings here.
That's fair enough. What's going on?
Not a lot, man. Just chilling out. Figured I'd pop in here and see what's going on.
I appreciate that because nobody else is here, and by yourself, it is a very quiet event for sure.
You'd have to change it just to the Nintendo Dad.
Yeah, Nintendo Dad and just a hard D. Like we kind of stopped there, which is interesting. Now, John, you're joining us actually in a couple of weeks, yes?
I believe it's next week.
I believe it is next week, which is awesome. We're excited. While you're here, actually, you want to talk a little bit about your new podcast that you and Dave Moore have, which I think is, by the way, tremendous.
Oh, well, thank you. And also,
you're welcome.
Thank you. the beginning of it when you hear this beautiful voice come across and read the sad story about this media. Thank you for voicing that for
Oh,
us.
no worries.
But yeah, Dave and I, after I was on the GamerCast, Dave and I hooked up online and decided we'd start a new show, and we both have a lot of games we'd never played that we've just been kind of sitting around, and so we decided to make a show about it and talk about that and whatever else came up when we were in this ranting for a while.
That's fantastic. I like it. Tim, I'm hearing you coming as well. I got a little bit of an echo. Some kind of residual. Hey, how are you? I think now you're fully muted, so now we can't hear you at all. Now we see a picture of Tim, which is one of our Patreon producers. Tim. So that's fantastic.
Sorry about that. I was messing with the buttons.
That's okay. There's so many buttons. Rich S is joining the call as well. That's fantastic. Lots of people coming in. Yeah. So Tim, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Nothing much. We're all sitting around. Actually, me and my kids just sitting around playing games.
Right on. What are you guys playing?
We were just playing the Pokemon game. My daughter and I were playing that, and my youngest, he's playing the Fast Neo game.
Fast Racing Neo.
Yeah, because of the Black Friday sale they had going, so I picked it up for cheap. So
yeah. I hear that's like a spiritual successor to F-Zero.
And I would even say if you ever played on the PlayStation, the Wipeout games, so it kind of reminded me of that too.
Nice. That's awesome. How are the kids making Pokemon Sun and Moon?
Getting the thumbs up over here for Moon. I've got the Sun copy, so
nice. Yeah, I had to kind of laugh about it. I didn't realize that Pokemon only creates one save state. Didn't realize that. Like, feels like a rookie mistake. And as a parent, you should know this because this is critical. So we got Pokemon Sun. I brought it in very quickly, kind of just put it down in my office. I had to run out, shot a video. That was it. I didn't play it. So my daughter comes home from school. I'm out working. She's like, Mom, did you see it? We got Pokemon. She runs downstairs, pops the game in, starts playing it, creates her avatar, creates her profile, gets like excited, names her character. And she's like, yeah, Dad, I started. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Cool. I'll just go create my own file and start playing my own character. We can have separate storylines all the way. So I was very disappointed when I discovered that no, that is not the case with Pokemon. If you want a separate game, you need to buy another game completely separate so you can each have your own, which is now why Jesse, who just joined our call, I fully understand why you bought 5 copies of this game in your house, right? Because you can't share properly. And as a parent, that is frustrating, but as a company, well done, Pokemon. Well done, you selfish money-grubbing folk.
And it's been that since the start, probably early on due to memory constraints, because the original games packed that memory chip full. Yep. But it's that business model has done well for them over 20 years.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My daughter's creator avatar, I'm not going to take that away, right? Like you don't go in and you don't wipe out somebody's avatar. That's not cool. Right? Like that's kind of, especially like a young kid, a young gamer. So we have committed to going forward with Rylan, the girl avatar, who looks exactly like my daughter. She's like made herself up to look like her, which is fantastic. She got about 13 minutes in. I'm kind of happy she didn't get to the point where she had to pick a Pokemon, because I feel like she would have went with Poplio. And then there would be like some serious considerations of like putting her up for adoption. I'm just saying, those are some concerns.
So who'd you go with?
I went with Litten.
Okay.
I did. How about yourself, John?
I've tried to play Pokemon. I love the concept of Pokemon. I cannot enjoy a game of Pokemon. I can't do it. I didn't grow up with it. It's a little too, like, I love RPGs, but it's a little too much of just walking through. There's a guy. I just fought this exact same guy 2 minutes ago. Now I'm having to fight him again. And it's just, I just can't.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to be very honest with you. We've talked on the Joan, actually got an email in this week's show that talks about this. I didn't grow up with Pokemon either, right? Like I was phasing out of it when it was becoming really, really popular. So I have no experience. I think we've seen that come up in my like pronunciation of Pokemon names, titles, anything. Like
Wobbuffet.
Yeah, Wobbuffet. Like, let's be honest here, folks. Like, I really struggle to really care a lot about the Pokemon stuff. I appreciate Zach and Jesse's enthusiasm. Like, whatever makes you happy, you go with that. But I definitely, so I picked this up. You know, I knew the kids would be excited for it. They really enjoyed Yokai Watch, so let's get them playing this. And I wanted to give it the college try, right? I wanted to be like, I'm going to go in this game. I'm going to give it a go. See what happens. And I'm pleasantly excited to say I actually enjoy Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I am about 4 hours into it thus far. But I will say, John, that I run into the exact same problem you're kind of experiencing. I'm running through a field. I just ran into a sparrow again and again and again. And I'm like, and I'm also like getting lazy. I'm like, Litton, just go do the thing you need to do. Like, I'm not really leveling. I'm not really super cared about switching people out. I'm like, just go.
Does it feel grindy at all?
You know, at times it can feel grindy, but in the way that in some ways, like you also need it to be grindy.
Do you have the EXP share yet?
Yes, I do. Yeah, okay. So that's good.
That helps. That actually helps the grinding because before Generation 6, they had an item called EXP share, but it worked differently.
Yeah.
You know, it was a held item. Actually, then it would have started, I think, with Gen 2. It was an item your Pokemon held, and whoever held it pretty much steals 50% of the XP.
Mm-hmm.
So if, you know, I would normally, you know, give it to the last person on my roster that I wanted to power level but didn't want to use. So if I would have my Charizard go out, kill it in one hit, Charizard would get half the XP, and the other guy would get half the XP.
Yeah.
Or you can game it a little bit. I can give, you know, the Pokemon with the EXP share front end of the line. It comes out, then swap it out right away. So he gets 50% of the XP from EXP share, and then the rest of the 50% is split between him and the other guy. Mm-hmm. That is because he participated in the battle, so he gets 75% of the XP. So, it's still but we're starting with X and Y. Each Pokemon got full XP on as if they soloed it, so it really helped get with the grinding and get people to higher levels faster.
Yeah, so I will say that for sure, Jesse. So that was something that I was noticing, right? Because I did play Pokemon Yellow when we did for Retro Rewind, or Pokemon Red when we did for Retro Rewind almost half a year ago, right? And I was like, okay, so I've got to really grind my Charizard, and I'm going to grind something else. And like, this is bull, right? Like, this is a lot of work, and I'm not really digging this. But this method that Jesse's talking about, the shared XP, is really valuable, right? So if I keep using Litton and Litton keeps winning, he gets his XP, he grows, but every other member of the team grows as well at the exact same like pace. So that I find really beneficial. I find that good.
A lot of the old hardcore players actually was pissed off about how the EXP shares worked. And like, well, you shut it off then. Then it works the same way as it did before. It doesn't do anything. So, you know, for those who want it, it's nice.
Yeah, as a newcomer to the game, I definitely felt it was valuable, and I think and especially maybe Tim, you can maybe, I don't know, speak to this about how your kids are doing, but I think as you look at kids who want to play games as well, I think that's a really valuable asset. Tim, what's kind of been your experience with the kids and how have they been enjoying it?
Sorry, I had to get my headphones, so hopefully there's no echo.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's no worries.
Yeah, my kids have been enjoying it. Actually, my daughter, this is her first Pokemon game that she's really getting into. Yep. And she's excited, especially because of the Thanksgiving weekend, and going to be going nuts with it. But she's way ahead of me. And this is my first Pokemon game really I shouldn't say my first. I tried to get into it back in the Pokemon Pearl days, you know. And the grinding just got to me too. I just couldn't handle it either. Or I didn't like it. It wasn't fun anymore. It just became a chore rather than a fun thing. So definitely with this version, it seems like it's it seems different. You know, there's still some of that grind, but I don't know if there's more of a purpose to it, or there's something else, or maybe it's just because I just got started and haven't played it in a while. I don't know, but it still seems fun.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it more.
It seems like they really spend the time to focus on the approachability of the game, right? And even what I see from that is like the user interface is very clean. It's very easily understood. It's simplistic. There are some deeper hidden menus in there as well, that you can kind of get challenged with. And I'll be actually quite honest. I think I told the story, I think, in our line chat. So I decided to pick up and play like my daughter, when my daughter went to bed, played for like 3 hours, got all the way to the first trial. I won. I was like, this is awesome, doing great. At no point did I find a save state. And I was like, this is kind of odd. But I remember playing the demo, and the demo was like, as I recall, auto-saving as you went to like new sections. So I was like, oh, it just must be auto-saving, and didn't think much of it. Sure enough, I shut the game down. No, it didn't auto-save at all. So I lost 3 hours of Pokemon grinding that I had to go back and do again. So that was quite frustrating, for sure. And
my daughter's hearing you say that, and she says, "Oh, that sucks."
Yes, that does suck. You know my pain. Then, what Pokemon did you and your daughter choose there, Tim?
We both chose the Litten. Yes.
The Litten?
So yeah.
Nice. Have you evolved it to its first evolve, which is I think Torracat?
She has. She's evolved it. I haven't yet. Like I said, she's been playing like crazy. She's loving it.
Nice.
And you know, if I didn't have a job, and I probably would be able to play more too. But
sure. that is the constraint of parenting, right? And working.
Right.
I think all four of us all chose Litten.
Really? Wow,
yeah.
I would have thought someone would have went with Rowlet. So I don't know. Interesting.
My son did use the Wonder Trade function a few times, and
okay, stop, hold up, back up. What the hell's a Wonder Trade function?
I don't think I've unlocked it yet. So it's somewhere later, into the second island. But Wonder Trade basically says you take one of your Pokemon and say go internet go, and then you'll get a random one back from the internet.
Really? Why would you do that?
Just as people, and he got a like 3 or 4 different Poplios.
Okay, so I guess that answers one of my questions. I was going to say, is it possible for me to find and capture a Poplio or Rowlet out in the wild later and them join my team?
Not in your game, no.
Okay.
But if you were lucky enough to get it through a Wonder Trade or something like that, then yeah. So my son gave me one of his Poplios, so I have a Poplio and a Litten in my party.
Okay, how did you? There's so many questions I have.
Because what I think what happened is someone started, I don't know. I'm presuming there's a daycare in here, similar because they've been a part of the game since Gen 2. In a daycare, you can drop off to your Pokemon, and
do they charge you an arm and a leg for this? Is this like regular daycare, like parents?
No, it's I think it's a free service. I don't think they charge. I could be wrong. I very rarely used it, but basically, if they're compatible, they will mate, and you will get an egg, and then you put the egg in your party and walk around for so many thousand steps, and it'll hatch, and you'll have a level 1 Pokemon. So, it's very common to, once they find a Ditto, you can pretty much, if you have a female Pokemon of whatever it is, mate with a Ditto, you will get Pokemon A again as a level 1. So people will constantly breed these looking for like a Pokemon that'll have just the right ability that they want, or mentality, or I forgot what the word they use, but they can have kind of a personality trait. And if they don't want it, then they'll throw them in the Wonder Trade. And that's how Matthew got like 3 or 4 Poplios.
Do you see my brain breaking right now?
I do.
Like there is and this is the thing. This is the thing about Pokemon.
And just wait till Roger gets on,
oh my God, Roger's. And I've got to like care for 90 minutes about Pokemon. Like this is like This is like workout right now. Okay. There's so much. And first and foremost, like in 3 days in Japan, I think they sold 1.9 million copies of Sun and Moon, right? Like that's incredible. Okay.
I believe it.
GameStop had like pre-orders that were like the highest they've had in a long time, right? We've seen those.
I think Nintendo has announced that this Pokemon Sun and Moon is the most pre-ordered game in Nintendo history.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, and I'd love to know what the server data looked like on Thursday night for preloads. Right, there's a ton of stuff. First and foremost, Edwin, if you're drinking, kudos to you, sir. Well done.
Oh,
cheers to you.
I had my game preloaded like 2 weeks early.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that there's so much rich history and culture and lore associated with Pokemon that even as someone entering the fray of it, right, as they're kind of jumping into it, you can very easily get lost in all of these kind of layers and thoughts of it, right? I didn't know about this global online competition thing that you need to register for, that like your membership of, and then there's a Pokemon bank for other stuff. Like there's a lot of layering there that you can kind of get lost in. And I think like, and I'm curious, like, you know, Tim, with your kids just playing it, like, are they just want to just play for the sake of playing it? Because I know there's this other level of competition and evolving and parties and fighting, and there's such a big ecosystem of Pokemon stuff that you can really easily like get overwhelmed by it. And I think at times that's kind of how I've been feeling. Like, I just want to do a game. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's where I'm at with it, and my kids, they understand there's a whole history of Pokemon with it, but they don't care. They're digging. Well, at least my daughter is. She's digging the, Pokemon Moon, and she's playing that. She's not concerned about all the other Pokemons that have come before it. For me, I know it's there. So, yeah, it kind of haunts me that, hey, I'm late to the game or I haven't played. But I do like the aspect of Sun and Moon that they have put some of the first generation Pokemon in there to catch, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was really great. I like that for sure. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, obviously, Edwin, you've joined. Richard, you've joined us as well. Edwin, how's your turkey going? I think you said you're going to be doing some turkey cooking when you showed up.
Yeah. So that we're working on it. We're working on it. It's in process of seasoning and all that.
Nice.
But I'm doing the supervising right now. Just making sure that.
Sure. Yeah. Like any good man, Edwin has got a beer that he's basically saying he's supervising. So you must be employed under your full-time job, I would assume then.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I did my part of the cooking last night.
Did you?
I prepared one chocolate cream pie and 2 pumpkin pies.
Wow. So this is the thing. So obviously kind of being Canadian, we celebrated our Thanksgiving the proper time of the year, early October, not like you weirdos who are doing it like literally 1 month away from Christmas. What is your problem? You have just seen these people. Why are they coming back a month later? All right. You could have been more proficient with your time. But in Canada, typically, and it's done on a Sunday, might I add, sometimes a Monday, right? There's a carryover. But like you don't spend 3 days cooking or two to 3 days. And that's the thing I've heard from a lot of my American friends and coworkers is that people have started cooking like yesterday for tomorrow's meal.
Yep.
Is that common or is that just like what's going on there?
That's very common. Yeah. Today we had, grandma made some cookies. My sister-in-law started making a few prepping ingredients that will be sides for tomorrow's meal.
Yep.
A friend who was coming over started preparing the stuffing on her side, which she'll be bringing over, and then we'll be cooking a turkey. Grandma will be cooking the turkey tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I already have like 8 people here in my house. So
Really?
tomorrow I will be like,
seriously?
Yes, man. Like my wife's family, and and
That's
friend of
they're like staying there.
Yes, they just arrived. So,
oh man.
Hey, when I'm here, I'm in the office. It's all good.
Well,
yeah.
I'm hiding.
My house usually has 7 people in it. Me, my wife, 3 kids, her brother, his wife, so 7, and then her mother's staying the week, so 8, and then our 2 other friends. Mentioned I was making some of the sides. We'll be a total of 10 people here tomorrow.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So like typically for Canada, like people will just come over later in the day, right? Like, okay, we're gonna, everyone come over to Jody's at like, 4 o'clock, and maybe you bring a side, maybe you bring a dessert, and that's kind of it. Like no one's like crashing our house 3 days in advance and smells like turkey and like stuffing for days. So that's
here.
crazy.
Yeah. Grandma drove up from Oklahoma, about 7 or 8 hour drive.
That's insane.
Wow.
Crazy.
She got here on Monday, and we'll hear, again, here the week.
Right. And then you all come together tomorrow. You celebrate love with turkey and your pilgrimage and stealing land, much like my country did as well. And then the next day, after you said how much you love each other as a family, you then rush out to shopping malls and throttle each other to get the best deals.
And try to get that NES Classic Edition.
Yeah. And ironically, you do it a month later again with Christmas and Boxing Day.
Well, Boxing Day really isn't a thing here.
Really? That's not a thing really for you guys?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Maybe that's just a Canadian thing.
It's a British thing that's kind of like trickled down to you Canadians and the Australians and all that stuff.
So hold on. So you guys don't really do Boxing Day?
No.
No,
There
no,
is
I
no
do
such
that.
thing as Boxing Day here.
What? Okay, are there really good? There's like no really good sales a day after Christmas.
I mean, the Christmas decorations are all almost free.
Really? Okay.
That's like on February 15th and November 1st when all the candy's half off.
Right. Yeah. So in Canada, like the 26th is Boxing Day, and Boxing Day is when it is like blowout sales, everything. So basically, Christmas you've spent with your family, you've hugged people, you've loved people, you've got gift certificates, you've got presents, everyone's happy, and then these stupid people leave their house at like 8 p.m. and then like sit in their cars or line up in front of like Best Buys and Walmarts at like 6 a.m. Then they throw the doors open and like it's like we have four TVs for like $5, and everyone's like mad rush to get the best deals. Very reminiscent of actually what your Black Friday looks like
Okay.
for us.
And that's
as well.
right after Christmas, or?
That is literally the day after, December 26th.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we stay in our PJs and keep playing with all the toys. That's all.
Yeah, I think you've done that right. I didn't know, John, that was a British thing. That was interesting.
Yeah. So the question though is, like, for us, Black Friday has started at like 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right. So when is Boxing Day going to start at like noon on Christmas Day for you guys? Like, when is it going to make its way there?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it starts to creep that way. We see more kind of Boxing Day e-sales, and that kind of stuff begins to creep. But like Boxing Day is outrageous. Like you should not be at a mall. You should not be near a mall. If you are dumb enough to venture to a mall to get something, like just make sure your insurance waiver is signed properly. Like it's just ridiculous. It is, like I said, it is the closest thing I can equivalent that to is Black Friday for you guys. That, like, craziness.
Yeah, I noticed a bunch of, at least for Xbox. I think Nintendo just released the latest list, right, of digital discounts. You can buy it right now, no problem.
Yeah. Amazon was selling the Nintendo the Nintendo 3DS, not the new Nintendo 3DS, but the new Nintendo 3DS, not XL,
Okay.
with the face plates, the black and white ones for $99, I think, on Amazon and in Best Buy.
Nice.
And Amazon's already sold out.
Amazon sold out. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's crazy though. So, yeah. What else? Anything? What else? What else? We guys want to chat about? Actually, Richard, Richard, what's going on with you?
Oh, not much. I was just having fun listening to the Pokemon talk.
Sure. If you like that, you're really going to enjoy our episode with Roger.
I played Y, but before that I hadn't played since Red, so I'm kind of out of the loop, so it's kind of cool to catch up a bit.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing a solid push with that. I'm quite impressed actually with the Pokemon's PR team. I think they have outdone Nintendo tenfold this year with their strategy. And obviously, the big rumor that we're going to talk about on the show today is the rumor that Pokemon Star is coming for the Nintendo Switch, which is the third variant of the Pokemon series. Obviously, this isn't too uncommon for Pokemon to have this. We saw Red, Blue, Yellow, and I think this is common from some of the other games that they've done as well. Jesse,
in fact, X Generation 6 XY is the only generation that did not have a subsequent game.
Really?
Well,
so was there like an XYZ?
I think Z would have been the expected name of this, because they named the third, the last season of the anime is Pokemon XYZ, but every generation has had a third game, which is kind of like the ultimate edition. It fixes some bugs, it adds some extra story elements and whatnot. Generation 5 was different in that instead of a third game, because that was the black and white, they added a third and fourth game, Black 2, White 2.
Oh wow.
And then Generation 6 didn't have the third game at all. So I think the Zygarde, which the third game there would have included the Zygarde, just like the anime did, or will. Spoiler alert: there's Zygarde in it.
Yeah, I don't even think what you're saying is English. I don't think.
Well, I think what the stuff they would have done for Zygarde, they put into Sun and Moon.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Still not real words to me.
What was the difference between Black and White 2?
Black 2 and White 2 basically was a different story set in the same world. So I don't know if it was a direct sequel or just alternate timeline stuff. I'm not sure exactly. I pretty much skipped that generation.
Nice. Hey, it looks like Tim has brought, I think, his daughter to join us as well. Is that right? Hey, how are you? You're on mute. It's okay.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. That's Sophie.
Hey, Sophie.
That's my daughter.
Good.
Good. How are you enjoying Pokemon?
And that's my son.
Hey, how are you? What's an eyeball?
I actually invited my son to join us, forgetting that he worked tonight.
Oh, you know what? Or you did that deliberately. Come join us, but you work tonight. That's awesome. Very cool. So what are you guys? You guys have Thanksgiving, obviously. Sophie, are you guys excited for Thanksgiving, or is that a big deal at your house?
I'm excited.
Yeah. You guys get school off, right? Like, do you get this a whole week off of school, or just a couple days?
Well, we had yesterday and Monday. We had to go to school.
Okay, so you get like a three day weekend, right? Or a 3-day extended week. That's awesome. Cool. What grade are you in?
6th.
Nice. Awesome. That's very cool. My daughters are in grade 1 and 3. I had to think about that for a second. That was really embarrassing. I was like, 1 and 3. So that's very cool. Yeah, they get half a day tomorrow. So that's so cool. Cool. What's your favorite Thanksgiving meal? Obviously, like turkey, but what's your favorite side?
Deviled eggs.
What? Wow. Deviled eggs? Nice. Anyone in the room deviled eggs fan? I like that.
Presents.
Yeah, they're good.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I like it. Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. That's great. What else? What else is going on with you guys? What do you want to talk about? Questions, comments, thoughts?
You know what I find amusing though?
Stop.
So I listen to you guys. And I listen to the Gamercast, and if I'm right, so we got Sean, right? So I get the Canadian. And I just noticed this when you just said this, that you were talking about your kids being in grade 1 and grade 3, and that's just not how we say it down here.
How do you say it?
First grade, second grade, third grade. I never hear grade 1, grade 2,
really?
Grade 3. I mean, unless I'm crazy, I don't think I am on this one.
All right, Americans, back up John.
Yeah, it's the same. Up until you're in high school, then you don't mention the numbers at all. You're just a freshman or a junior or whatever you are. Really? Which equivalent to Japanese high schools. They just say first year, second year, third year. Their year in high school, not necessarily their year overall.
Yeah, interesting, huh? I've never noticed that kind of idiosyncrasy as well. Interesting.
There seems to be a lot of things with the U.S. and Canada, being neighbors. How many differences there are, and how many things that you all seem to pull more from like the British side.
Yep.
But I mean, you still got the Queen on your money?
Oh yeah, that Queen will not be leaving our money anytime soon. I will tell you that. Yeah, we have, and that's very actually interesting because we have such an interesting influence, right? So, not to get too Canadian cultured on you, right? But obviously we have such the influence of Britain, the Queen, right? That's very much part of our colonial history. But then being neighbors, right? Your neighbors to the north, we are so much influenced actually by the content coming out of the US. Right. So our media, I was mentioning to Jesse when I was down there a couple of weeks ago, that a large amount of our media is US media. Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you should be, right? You got some terrible TV. I'm not going to lie. Right. We have our own dedicated television network, CBC, Canadian Broadcast Corporation, which is dedicated 100% to Canadian content. But so much of it comes across the border from you guys. Right. I'm getting CNBC, I'm getting CBS or CT, not CTV, what is it for you guys? Fox, I'm getting all of those kind of like main network things. We're very much American minus certain things we don't get, right? Like we don't have Amazon Prime, Hulu, those kind of things.
Have those?
We don't have them, no. So we can get we can get Amazon Prime shipping, but we can't get Amazon Prime the network.
Man, there's some good stuff on it. So you don't get the new Top Gear show?
No, but we have
weird.
We have Netflix.
That's
and there's a Netflix Canada specific portion, and there's a US specific. So I think you guys obviously probably know that I do a lot of traveling across the US border, right? So like when I show up in the US, I basically get I go to my Netflix, I log in, it's great, and they're like, "You've changed your region. Some shows are now unavailable to you." And like my Netflix list is like wiped away to like 3 shows that's the same in the US. So there's content differences for sure as well.
I imagine a lot of that is licensing with deals that exist. Everyone's licensing with Netflix here, but no one is in Canada.
Yeah.
Do you have YouTube Red available?
I don't know if we have YouTube Red available. I think we might. I don't know. Why do you ask?
Oh, that was a service that my kids or like my youngest one wants me to subscribe to because there's a YouTuber that she watches that has a Red exclusive show.
Okay.
And it's like Matt Pat has a few Red exclusive shows as well that I'm like, yeah, great. I don't know if I want to pay for it.
Right. Yeah. But there, it is interesting, and our countries are tied so closely together. Right. So obviously your election of your upcoming president has a huge impact for us as well. Right. We as a Canadian culture are also shocked that it took you basically 2 years to come to this solution. Right. Or this answer, when in our country, like the longest election time that we ran up to was like 53 days. And the country was outraged about how long that took for us to get there. Right. Like it's those type of things.
You guys watch our election, right? And we don't even know that y'all have them.
Yeah. I know, right? Because it's, and I will tell you, we have like the politest like debates ever. No, you go, sir. Hey, that's fine, no problem. We'll talk about it later.
You take the role. It's
yeah. You know what? Why don't we share prime minister? Eh? We'll do it over a 2-4 and some hockey. Eh? So there's a lot of that. But I mean, here's a great example in our country. In our country, all the parties are at the debate table, all legitimate parties, right? So we have a Green Party, a Wild Rose Party, Conservative, NDP, and something else in there, Liberal, I think. They're all allowed at the party, at the debates, and that's televised in Canada. Like they all get their time, as opposed to kind of you guys that have your 2 primary parties. We know the third party kind of exists that we're hoping to know more about it, but doesn't happen. So this is
we get some of that where I live. We live in Detroit, or Metro Detroit area, so we're pretty close to Canada.
Yep.
So grew up with CBC as well as some of the same American stuff, and for me also, I got spoiled because of when I turned 19, I was able to go over the border and have a few drinks
sure, yeah,
before the rule changed in the U.S. for us to be 21. So
yeah, that
beers on some of my others.
Yeah, some good Canadian beer that actually has a proper alcohol percentage. Your American
mean,
beers,
more-
folks.
More
Little
than
weak.
3.5?
A little bit more than 3.5.
Hold on a second. See now you're getting into a touchy topic. You're referring to those mass-produced beers that, well, aren't worth anything.
Right.
Not the beautiful things that you can be drinking.
Sure, right. Some good craft beer. Absolutely. I'll tell you one of the funniest things that I experienced recently. So I was over in Ireland in March, right? My family. Was a great trip, and Ireland, of course, is known for just like, if there is a country that should be known for tremendous beer, Ireland should be that country, right? They have Guinness. They have some of the
Either that or
strongest.
Germany.
Yeah, Ireland or Germany
Yeah.
should probably be known for good beer. Good beer. Right? And they do. They have lots on tap. It's wonderful. And I'm driving up to Dublin with my family in the car, and this truck passes me. They're kind of like flat trucks, and that basically pick up kegs from pubs and like basically kind of bring back to the refinery, right?
Mhm.
And sure enough, do you want to guess what the big banner on this back of this truck read? Budweiser.
Oh.
You know what makes me concerned though is you said that the kegs were going back to the refinery.
Well, wherever they've got to refill them. I don't know what they're doing with those kegs.
The brewery?
The brewery, potentially,
Back to
right?
the refinery. I mean, I don't think one would be in that keg.
Yeah. So it like hurt,
radioactive.
it hurt my heart, and I was like, "Why, Ireland? Why are you doing this to yourself?" And sure enough, you go in, and there's like Guinness, there's Heineken, there's good beers, 3 different types of Guinness, and it's like, and we have Coors Light, and I was like, "Get out of here!" So yeah,
I mean that they're owned by what, a German company, Budweiser is?
I think so.
InBev?
Yeah. I will say, in all honesty, though, your country does have good beer. It just has to be not the mainstay beer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you've
why
got to, whenever I'm in Boston, it's usually Sam Adams, right? It's a little bit different.
Mhm.
It's not a bad beer there for sure.
Yeah, it looks
Harpoon.
it
Sorry?
looks like there's a trend now of a lot of microbreweries, right, and all that. So
Yeah.
at least in Austin, Texas, right, and Portland
Sure.
and all that.
Oh, you live in Austin?
Yeah, I'm from Austin. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm down here just south of Houston.
Oh, really? What?
Nice.
Nice.
Is that and I'm gonna play ignorance. Is that a large amount of time or distance on your country?
It's about 3 hours drive
It's
between
Texas,
Houston and
yeah.
Houston.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's
Yeah.
bigger in Texas, right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Nice.
Yeah, I love Austin. Austin's one of my favorite cities ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
No,
hear good things about it. Now, obviously, Jesse is in Kansas City. Got to visit him a couple weeks ago. I still have the meat sweats and smell of barbecue sauce on me.
Nice.
Oh my God. I was shocked I was able to get back on that plane. My heart hurt so much. Richard, where are you from?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota. That's fantastic. That's right up by the Great White North.
What part of Minnesota?
I'm in Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay, you're way up there.
Yeah.
I grew up in Bloomington,
Oh, okay.
so the Mall of America was my backyard.
So that's Minnesota. That would be Megadad's stomping ground. That's where Adam and John are.
Oh.
Because I had a layover there when I was coming back from KC, and I sent a message that I was there, and they're like, "You're in this country, you're in this state," and I was like, "For a matter of 3 hours. That is all, gentlemen. That is all."
Yeah,
So.
that Minneapolis airport scares me. It's because for example, on one way you have like San Francisco or Los Angeles, you have a city on a coast, so you're going to build the airport on the coast. So it looks like if you're taking off and you don't get up in the air fast enough, you're going to hit the water.
Sure.
Minneapolis is nothing but tall buildings everywhere, so it looks like you're going to hit, if you one wrong move, you hit a building.
Yeah.
I'm like that airport scares me.
Yeah, that airport is like massive. There's I was actually lucky during my connection to KC because I only had I think 55 minutes to make it to my terminal. Actually, I was lucky just to kind of catch the right train shuttle and all those kind of things and rush through. But that is a massive airport for sure. So yeah. What else? What other topics you guys want to talk about? Anyone seen any good movies, good shows lately? What do you want to talk about? We can talk more about Thanksgiving and stuffing and beer. We can do that too if you want. do you think?
Hey, Daddy.
What are you guys looking forward to for either giving as a Christmas gift or receiving as a Christmas gift?
Daddy.
Giving or receiving as a Christmas gift. You know, one of the things that we do, as actually, I will tell you, as for receiving a Christmas gift, I'm looking forward to it. I already know that it's going to be in my stocking. I'm already aware of this. Santa has given me a sneak peek, so to say, because it was on my Amazon account. But I recently ordered Chris Kohler's book, One Up. What is it? How Japanese culture influenced the video game world. Yeah, that book right there, actually, Jesse. Yeah, thank you. Jesse's got it right there.
I just got it in yesterday.
Right on. He was actually on NVC last week.
And that's when I ordered it. I heard it talking
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, dude, that sounds like a book I want.
Yeah, and the interesting part is actually we have been working on trying to get Chris on our show for a little while now, actually. We've had some Twitter conversations with him, an email conversation. We're still trying to just firm up some dates. We're trying to get him on the show, hopefully soon. But what am I looking forward to maybe giving? I'll actually be honest. Sam, what my family's done for a while in relation to giving is actually we do an adopt-a family with the Salvation Army. And basically, instead of like kind of giving my wife and I gifts, we basically save that money throughout the year. And then we adopt a family and we give them Christmas. And that has been just, we've been doing that for now just over 12 years almost. And that has been a really tremendous opportunity, I think, especially with now having our daughters to understand that value of Christmas and understand like how do you give and why you give and supporting others. And you want to talk about a learning opportunity or a learning moment. That's pretty huge for our kids. So they will go out with us and they will pick out, the presents for this family. They'll make sure they have the food. And that's been something that for us has just been really special. We then bring it basically to Salvation Army and they obviously distribute it to the family that needs it. There's some, safety issues and, kind of, you can't basically tell because some of these families are in really bad situations, right? So you can't share addresses or personal information, just that there's family in need. And that's been something that we've been doing. And that's really, from a giving perspective, that's really tremendous for us. We enjoy it. So. Yeah. What about you guys? Anything else you're looking forward to giving or receiving?
Well, normally around Christmas, the kids don't give me gifts yet. They're not old enough to care, and that's fine.
They got jobs, Jesse. They can get you something.
I did drop a hint that if two of them wanted to pool together for a gift for Father's Day, I gave them a suggestion. But normally what I do for Christmas is when I wrap gifts, I'll wrap one or two things up, for myself, just so I know I've got something under the tree.
And you won't be disappointed by it.
And my wife will usually give me something too. But normally the kids get the most gifts, and that's fine. That's how it should be. Yeah. But whenever I write out the tags, I never write my name. It's from me to you or to Madeline or Matthew or whatever, or from us. I just never write my name on it. So if it's a gift to myself, I'll write from me to me, and people know exactly what. Don't touch that one. That's for Dad.
Awesome. Yeah, and your kids are fantastic, actually, too. They're great. They're really great.
And this is, I haven't wrapped it yet, but this is what I'm going to give myself. I don't know if you can see that.
Looks like a phone case, maybe.
LTO.
It's an LTO flash. It's a flash cart for an Intellivision system.
Oh.
So you can load up the cart with like every Intellivision ROM, and so it can play them on my Intellivision without having to swap carts.
That's fantastic. I like that. Edwin, how about yourself?
Nothing specifically for me. Mostly with the kids. My son, he's young. He's at 6 years old, but he wants a telescope. So I'm doing some research to find out a good thing, right? And so it might be a share gift or something.
Yeah.
But I'm doing my research to see. I don't know anything about it, so it's more about, okay, let me research this for 3 weeks or so and get a good one. And at least instead of just seeing a light, a dot in the telescope, something real, right?
What's drawn the interest in the telescope? Is he doing like science class or
Yeah,
what's going on?
in science class, and he's been watching. Man, these kids now, right? They go to iPad, and I allow him to go certain hours to go to YouTube Kids and search, and he goes and type and look for the history of the planets and all that fun, right?
Yeah.
And he started asking questions, and I told him like, hey, there's this thing called a telescope, and he did some, quick research, and now he wants a massive one. I'm like, whoa, okay, let's
Maybe she's been like, by the way, there's telescopes for under $200.
let's start small, and then so I'm doing my research. Hopefully, I can find something that works for both of us.
Yeah. You'll have to make sure you're not sharing this episode with your son then to make sure he's listening, right? Don't get him surprised.
Definitely.
Right, only if he's good.
Yes.
Nice. John, what about yourself?
So my son's getting a hookup this year with video games.
Oh, nice.
So Target did a buy two get one free a while back.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so between that and another purchase, and then we're kind of spreading these out to be from some other relatives and stuff. But he's gonna get Kirby Planet Robobot, which he is super excited about. He's been playing the demo of that till I think the demo no longer allows you to play it. He's getting the Yoshi Woolly World. Is that the yarn one?
Yeah.
And it comes with that yarn amiibo, which he's gonna just flip out about.
Yeah.
And then the is it Mario? Is it 3D Land? Which one's the 3DS one?
3D Land.
3D Land, because I always say it wrong on the show, so I have to think about it.
Yeah, because he loves 3D World, but we always let him take the. I bought a 3DS for me a while back, but I'm basically turning it over to him. And so he'll have that, and then I want to say Hyrule Legends or whatever the 3DS one is for the.
Yeah.
We have the new 3DS, so it should work well.
Yeah.
So he will be set and ready to go with all his Nintendo.
That's solid.
I have bred the perfect Nintendo fan, by the way.
Nice.
He loves Mario. He plays on the Wii U. He'll play on the Xbox a little bit, but most part just the Wii U when he plays. He's gonna be a happy little Nintendo fan at Christmas time.
You're doing Reggie's work. Good. You're doing the Reggie's work.
It's just such a great family system.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that's I think, and I know Tim, you asked a little bit of the question earlier in our Patreon conversation about like working gaming time into family time as well. In our family, that's actually a little bit of an incentive we use, right? So if you've finished all of your reading, you've got your teeth brushed, your jammies on, then that's going to be a little bit of the reward, right? So that was our incentive we actually used last night. My daughter's like, can we play Mario Party? And my wife's like, well, you got to do 40 minutes of reading, right? And she's like, okay, boom. And it was kind of like that was the carrot on the stick that made her sit down, do the 40 minutes of reading collectively. Her teeth were brushed, jammies were on. And it's just a really good system that you kind of sit down and be like, all right, let's bang out, 20 to 30 minutes of Mario Party, and then it's off to bed. And it's such an easy, approachable way of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the thing I gotta kind of work on. I mean, my son's only 5.
Yep.
So he doesn't have his schoolwork he has to do because he's in kindergarten, or whatever you Canadians call it.
Yep, kindergarten. That's what we call it here.
Not grade 0.
Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as K.
But I was worried for a long time because he was like addicted to it, and he would wake up at like 3:00 in the morning and steal the the game pad from our bedroom and start playing it and whatever else. But luckily we've got him to where he'll play for a while and then he'll put it down and he'll go run around, unless I'm playing with him, in which he'll happily play for hours.
Yeah.
But it's a great time just sitting there together and something we can do together and have a little father-son time, and there's Yoshi involved, and everyone loves Yoshi.
Yeah, it really is such a great system in those ways to just share, right, and to sit in that pocket. And that's same thing with our house. Saturday mornings, not uncommon to get up. I usually let my wife sleep in because she's up usually the rest of the week with the kids being early, getting them out to the school while I'm going to work. And I'll let her sleep in, and the girls will just cuddle up on the couch. We'll pass the gamepad around, playing whatever we want, and it's just it's a nice, approachable time. So yeah, I like it. Richard, anything about yourself for Christmas that you're excited to give or to receive potentially? Funding for a Switch, maybe?
Well, if I can find another one, NES Classic for my niece and nephew, but
Oh yeah.
we'll see about that.
So you were lucky enough to score one, were you?
Yeah, yep.
Nice. And are you liking it?
Yeah, so far so good. I was the 4th person in line at my target, and there was probably at least 60 people in line, and they only had 8 of them. So
wow, man. That is rough.
Yeah,
no
it was bad.
I'm kidding.
Hello.
Hey, Zach. Yeah, we get it. You're late. Thanks for joining us there, Zachary.
Hey, dude, I didn't even finish what I was doing until like an hour ago.
Well,
I guess it was an hour and a half ago.
Now, Tim, you asked the question about what are we excited to maybe give or receive. I know that you might have little ears around you, so maybe giving might not be what you want to talk about, but is there anything that maybe you're looking forward to receiving? I'm going to flip the question back to you.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of hard to answer that from the giving side. But yeah, you mentioned it earlier, I think, to Richard, but I'm definitely hoping for some Switch cash.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing, right? So early January, I guess we had to find out, right? And it would be really nice if they actually did a pre-order, but of course they're probably not going to. So, yeah,
but I guess too, it's good timing. If March, we're talking about March, good timing for tax return for us here in the U.S.
Yeah, and it's funny. Bobby Paul's the Nintendo guru was the one that I think the person I first heard that from in relation to it's tax time, so there may be really deliberately aiming at that market, and I didn't really think about it, but more and more that sounds like a very viable solution, right? It is tax time. Let's maybe use some of those fundings, right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that and traditionally, the new handhelds have been released that time of year.
Yeah. And it's at the end of that. They're ending the fiscal year on a really good note too, which is for investors like that stuff. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like again, 2 million units are supposed to be shipped by the end of that fiscal period,
which is like 2 weeks.
What
is the attachment rate for that? Have we, Zach? And then obviously Zach Erickson's joined our call now. Cat Joe has joined our call. Zach, have we heard any numbers yet actually for how many units they've used for Move for the Classic? Have we seen anything on that yet?
I haven't seen anything, but
no, Jesse?
No, we probably won't know until probably, and the financial briefing in January, at the end of their third quarter.
Well, I think the interesting part is when it's really, really good, Nintendo lets it known, right? Pokemon's a great example, right? They're like, hey, it's the most popular game downloaded or pre-downloaded, right? But they're being very quiet about their NES Classic numbers.
Well, I think the problem with this is they know if they put out 3 times the supply, they would have sold 3 times as many. So they would still sell out, would still have demand issues, but they just know they screwed up.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Cat Joe, what's going on?
I'm good. Can you actually hear me? I haven't used Google Hangouts yet.
Yeah, we can. What's going on? It's Gary, right?
Almost. Yeah.
Well,
so okay, I got up an hour too early, so I got up at 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh, man! What? Okay, well that's dedication.
It's Siri messing that one up. Seriously, I wanted to get up at 3:45. No, 2:45 instead. That's fine.
That's fair, man. That is right on. Well, thanks for joining us there. Yeah, I was gonna say it's bright and early, so that's I always feel bad when we've had some of our
maybe not so bright yet.
Yeah, no, it's not bright. It's early though. It is real early, and I'm sure that is a very black cup of coffee, probably.
I wish I could tip it, but I'm gonna. Nah, it's totally black.
Sure.
Almost as dark as it is outside.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. Zach, what's going on with you?
Me? I'm checking my Pokepelago right now, actually. Got to get more beans.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, okay, you know what I'm actually going to do? It's a sickness.
Dude, after this is over, before the next episode starts, I got a question for you.
Okay, look at this.
I'll leave it for then.
I'll show you guys the chat here. Where is? I want to make sure I can see it here. There's the window. I don't know if you can read this.
30 hours.
Playtime 30 hours.
Well,
Zach, you need to send a direct message to Dave Moore because he and I were talking today, and he has put in 15 minutes to this game after telling me how much he loved it.
What?
I told him, yeah, he claims he was busy, but
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
busy to sit on the John and play Pokemon? I don't think so. Like
exactly, and I'm sure you're a busy man as well. And I told him that you'd put out that you would binge through it on a weekend.
Yeah.
In shock. So I think some harassment is needed.
I think so.
You want to talk about play hours on my Dragon Quest VII state? I thought I beat the final boss at hour 75. I was wrong.
Yeah.
That was you're done the intro. Is what
literally though, in the PlayStation 1 version of the game, it came on 2 discs. At that point, that ended disc 1.
Oh. Yeah.
And I am now I think I'm fighting the final boss now, which is actually the same boss but powered up. I am at 93 hours.
Holy cow, dude.
And I failed 5 times so far, and I really don't know if I can do it without grinding.
Yeah. To be fair, I do have it just happened to be like I didn't have any assignments that were like I had handed in like a really important assignment, and then like didn't have anything for like 2 weeks after this. So like I didn't really have anything going on this weekend, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna play this as much as like really sink my teeth into it. And I went to sleep at like 2 a.m. a couple of nights, and it sucked me in something fierce. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think this is the most heavily invested I have seen you in a game in over 2 years in relation to time suck, especially even for like game reviews, right? When we've done reviews before, you've been like trying to squeeze it in between things. It sounds like you like clear my calendar, Hillary.
Oh, that's exactly what it was.
I'm not coming to work.
It was like, well, and I mean, I'll talk about this more on the show, but like Nick got his copy too. So it was like me and him sitting on the couch next to each other, and like I was just barely ahead of him for a lot of it. So I was like, I gotta keep going, because if he gets stuck, then I gotta know where I am. And so yeah, maybe not the best model parenting, but it's not a constant thing. It's like I was kept thinking like hopefully he'll remember that we spent a weekend binging on that game, and it'll be good memories.
Not sure how well you can see this, but it's the stat screen of my Japanese Poplio.
No, okay, no.
Dude, I need a Poplio. Can we trade a Poplio? I need a Poplio.
No, this is the only one I have. I got it from my son, who got it.
Starting.
He got like 3 or 4 of them from Wonder Trade.
Because yeah. So have you got to the part where you can make eggs yet? Because I need one.
No. I'm still on the. I'm still on the second island.
Well,
some of us have jobs, Zach.
It's there though. Jobs, dude. You can do it on the job.
Parent.
Who needs sleep? Are you weak?
I apparently
you are looking malnourished of sunbite, might I add, Zach. It's not that cold out here.
Zach, I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
So you put all these hours into this. Have you finished Super Mario RPG yet?
No, I have not.
So the retro rewind that you're going to be talking about in a week.
See, here's the thing is like there's 2 factors there. Number one, the portability factor cannot be underestimated, I think, for one.
So you can't take your gamepad to the John, is what you're saying.
No, my gamepad
don't have connective strength.
My Wii U is in the basement for one. So, but yeah, no. So that was a big part of it, and but I have been playing it though. Yeah, I haven't. I can't remember. It's been a few.
You got a week to finish that thing, my friend.
Dude,
Justin, how far are you in it?
That's none of your damn business, John. Thanks for asking.
Listen, like
my playthrough was at least well documented, as every moment played has been streamed.
It was. Yeah. So
how long of a stream is it? How many hours of stream is it, Jesse? If I just go watch yours,
I don't know. It currently is in 6 parts, ranging from 1 hour to 3 hours each.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think I may be 12 hours in.
Okay.
How about the rest of you?
I did about 25 hours in a little over a week. I took it down.
That's incredible. That is dedication. Edwin, how about you?
No, I haven't played that RPG, but Jesse, I put on Dragon Quest 92 hours. So that's So I'm done with that one. I'm done.
I'm out.
Did you beat the boss the second time?
Yeah, but I did grinding. I grind.
You had to grind a lot.
Yeah.
You know Dragon Quest 8's coming out in like 3 months, right, Edwin?
I know. Yeah.
2
months. 2 months.
That is terrible.
It's like January 20.
Just go find an ice bucket and just put your hands in it for like the next 2 months. Just let them cool down, my friend.
Yes.
And my playthrough with Dragon Quest 8 on the PS2 was about 100 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that year, like 2008, I played through Dragon Quest 8, Final Fantasy 12, and Persona 4, all in the same year. Each game was a 100-hour game.
What is wrong with you?
Oh.
Do we have our guest? Is our guest? I'm noticing he's on Skype.
Yeah, I've been chatting with our guest in the background. So he's.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I've told him to simmer right down. All right. I said we have Patreon Hangout going on right now, Mr. Rogers Base. You need to just simmer down.
Sheila.
He's probably the one person who's viewing this right now who's watching. He's like, I will kill Justin. I will cut him.
Yeah.
So
all of a sudden he'll just drop off Skype.
He won't kill you. He'll just sing a song.
Yeah, he will. He'll be like.
He will write you a song.
He will write you a Disney parody
Mm-hmm.
about how much he hates you.
Yeah. You know what? I am glad, though, that Roger has enough. We have enough relationship and credibility with Roger that he's okay just to sit for a couple of moments while we hang out with our group of folks. I was thinking about maybe bringing him into this call, but I was like, that might just break Skype, and then we'll never get him focused on anything again. So it'll be difficult.
Yeah.
Gary, how about you? Are you playing through Mario RPG?
No, I'm not. I'm still playing through Mega Man 2 and Zelda 2.
Nice. Well, one of those is a winner. One of them is a poor choice. So
Zelda 2 is definitely the winner.
Mario RPG is actually a game I have never finished, and I'm hoping to do so.
No, I've never started.
I just remember at one point I got hung up on the Axum Rangers fight, and that might be as far as I've ever gotten.
Right.
It's a tough fight.
I just know I have to go after the pink one first.
Oh, really?
Because she's the one that she can heal and res the others.
Oh man, I just started going after like random ones, and eventually it took them down. But you have to go and get like the superpowers that you can get, like the giant shell that you can kick with Mario, stuff like that.
Awesome. Nice. Richard and Tim, how about you guys? For how far are you doing in Mario RPG?
I'm at about 4 or 5 hours, but I don't work again till Monday, so I'll have some time to sink into it.
Right on, I like it. How about yourself, Tim?
Oh, I don't hear anybody.
We lost Tim. Maybe on mute. And actually, when I look
Sorry.
that's okay.
I couldn't get to the mute button.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'm in the same boat as Zach. If it was portable, I would have been all over it. But it's on the Wii U. I couldn't necessarily download it and play it.
Sure.
This is where when games start being playable on the Switch, people won't have that excuse.
Yeah, that really will become a bit of a game changer for sure. And actually, when speaking of Patreon nominations, I'm looking at our list right now of games that are currently nominated. I'm going to read that out to you guys just an FYI because they're going to go up soon. We have Star Tropics. Gary said anything on the NES Classic, so well done, sir.
Which would include Star Tropics.
It would.
Rygar was awesome. I don't know what's Rygar. I don't know. Super Mario 2 and NES Metroid. So there's definitely a desire for us to play old school games.
That NES Classic, man, I think it's a great idea to have something on the NES Classic.
Yeah, I think so. That's a fantastic idea. It's a good inspiration. So
if only everyone can make sure they have one.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's available, right? That's a tough thing. So I think a lot of those games are available on the virtual console, are they not?
Yeah.
I think most just what everything is, but if the whole point of it is picking a game from the NES Classic Edition, we kind of want to play it on there.
Yeah.
Even though there are alternatives if there has to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm surprised no one's picked Tecmo Bowl yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've actually heard.
Hey, the vote is the nominations are not closed, Gary. So you can influence all you want, sir.
I've heard from another podcast that Tecmo Bowl doesn't hold up as much
There
as
you
he remembered it.
Tecmo Bowl was fine, but there were better NES football games at the time that no one seems to ever think about.
Nice. Well, and I guess it's another good kind of reminder as well about if you're looking for the NES Classic, you can still go over to our Nintendo Dads Facebook and Twitter page and click on our Survey Monkey results, and we are giving away an NES Classic to one of our lucky individuals. So we've got a lot of responses coming in already, but if you haven't done that, you can't win if you don't enter. So do that. Right? Lots of good feedback. So
do it,
folks.
Nice.
This has been great. We're gonna have to bail out. Thanks for everyone for jumping in. I can't believe this many people showed up. This is tremendous. I always think like no one's gonna show up, and then like a whole room shows.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't be here for the whole thing, guys. I really did. It's just that time of the semester. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that time of the semester. You mean your Pokemon semester? Is that what you're talking about?
Look, dude, I was being a therapist until like 7 o'clock tonight. So.
Okay. Sure. Couple other things that we'll kind of let you guys know of what we're going to try and organize in the next coming weeks. I'm going to put out like on a Saturday morning early, like at 7 or 8 o'clock. We're going to try and schedule a couple hours of online gaming. So whether it's Splatoon, Mario Kart, Smash, something, we're going to put out enough notice that everyone can jump in. Everyone has codes. We saw it during the Extra Life stream that a lot of people jumped in, seemed to have a really great time with that. So we're going to try and host another kind of party that way. Is that cool? What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, we're gonna post that information out soon. I think I'm aiming, looking at my calendar, tentatively mark your calendars for December 10th. That's the day that we're looking right now to probably do that. So I will keep us appraised, put us in our Patreon hangout, our line chat, all that stuff, so everybody knows what's going on. Cool.
Right on, man.
Awesome. Man. Guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to drop off here, and then we're going to join another call with Rogers Base. We're going to be live on YouTube. If you guys want to jump in, we got a comment chat box going on. You're more than welcome. We're going to take comments off of there as well. If you guys want to ask Roger questions or any of us, we're going to do that all there as well. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Be well. Thank you for jumping in, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.